Hi, guys. Welcome to the Empower Hour topic sessions. I'm Amy Miller, excited to have you here. If anybody's on, or maybe you guys will listen to the replay. Today, I am excited to talk about is the how keeping you stuck. This is a common challenge that I often hear holds people back in taking action toward their goals. Maybe it's a bigger goal, an idea that you've had for a long time that you want to work toward, or maybe it is, in fact, a career change, maybe pivoting a new direction or starting a new business. So oftentimes people get stuck at the how. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that today. But first, a quick introduction who I am, why I like to talk about this stuff. So my name's Amy. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a career coach, a former recruiter, and I'm an author. I write nonfiction, motivational self-development books. I am very passionate about inspiring others to identify and pursue their passion, their purpose. I believe that we all have special talent, and that thing that lights us up. I think it's really important to go in that direction because that's likely the area where you're going to enable yourself to make a really big impact in only the special way that you can. So that's why I do what I do. And that I decided a while back to take my own advice, which is we succeed at what we focus on. And so that's why I stopped recruiting, even though recruiting was great, because what really fires me up is hearing what fires other people up. And so it was important for me to decide to focus my time and energy there. So that's a little bit about me and what I do. And my outcome goal, I like to call it, in talking about this topic today is for you guys to come away with, if you need one, if you're looking for one, a new perspective in how you view taking action towards your goals and getting started. I like to say when you change your perspective, you change your life. And maybe I'll do another topic session about that because I've got so many great examples of how you can change your life very quickly just by shifting your perspective. So let me just, here we go. Okay. Let's see what else. Oh, speaking of outcome goals, this is a really good habit to implement if you're not already. It helps you to prioritize what is meaningful, which ends up creating more time in your day. So whenever you are taking action and investing your time in or around an activity, maybe you're going into a meeting or you are starting getting ready to call somebody or whatever it is. What is my outcome goal for this action? What's my outcome goal in scrolling through Instagram? What are you going to accomplish? What are you looking to accomplish from that? It'll help put things into perspective, and then that can help create time in your day. It's really important to prioritize what is meaningful to know what to prioritize. So awareness is key. Another great topic to talk about another time, although I'll talk a little bit more about it here today. But yeah, it's when you are aware of what it is you want, of what it is that's a priority to you, then when you focus just on that, or more time on your priorities and less on things that don't really matter that much, you have more time. So that's how you create time in your day. So my outcome goal is for you guys to come away with a new perspective, maybe some curiosity, maybe a little bit more drive to start taking action, take the first step toward that goal, whatever it is that you are thinking about. Yeah, so let's see. Yeah. So oftentimes I will hear, somebody say, of course, in my role as a career coach, that I'm hearing all the time about people's goals, what they want to do, what's holding them back. And I hear this a lot from successful people. Likely, if you're listening, you have succeeded at something, right? I think we all have. You succeed at what you focus on. And if you need some proof of that, you can just look at something that you have achieved and ask yourself, how did you get there? Well, you focused on it. And then same is true for things that don't work out the way we hoped they would. Where was your focus? It was, if you peel back the layers, it was probably on something negative, maybe on the fear. But anyhow, I'll hear someone say, okay, so here's what I'm thinking about doing, but what if I get there? What if I get to this step and then this happens? Or, they'll think about, okay, this is what I'm thinking about doing, but I don't know how I'm going to get there. And here's the thing with the how. First of all, take some pressure off because it's impossible to know how. You cannot map out your full path of what it's going to look like getting to where it is you're going. You can't even map out steps 1 through 10 necessarily. All you have to do is take the first step, and the second step only shows up when you take the first. I mean, you might have a general idea of if you're starting a new business, for example, the business plan, the steps that you're going to need to take to get there, but you won't know exactly what it looks like. And I believe that oftentimes the best things happen when we have no idea what's next, because if we knew exactly what everything was going to look like, every single step, every single person we were going to meet that was going to come on our path and help us along, every challenge that we were going to face, if we knew all of that, we would limit ourselves. Whether you guys believe in God or the universe, whatever higher power, if you do believe in that, I believe in the universe, so I'll just say it like that. The universe has bigger plans for us, for you, than we have yet to even imagine. So it's actually a great thing that we can't know all of the steps. Yeah, so I'll give you a couple of examples from my personal life and or career path. Let's see which example I want to give first. So a few years back, well, probably 10 years ago, like I said, I've always been passionate about inspiring others, encouraging others to follow that dream, that passion to, try something new. I've been like that just since I was a kid. So I've always been the friend in the group that inspires and encourages. That's just me. So anyhow, I wanted to be a motivational speaker for probably about a decade now, but I wasn't really ready when I first got the idea. But I listened to the idea, it was in the back of my mind, and I was aware that it was there. And then, it would start to get louder and louder. And I'm sure you guys have had that too. Whenever you are thinking about something and that you want to do or try, the more you think about it, the closer you are to taking action. So anyhow, about 3+ years ago, that voice got really, really loud. The one encouraging me to speak on, do some motivational speaking, speak on topics that I'm passionate about that might help others. So I decided it was time, and I decided to go live with a YouTube channel. And I set a date, taught myself how to set it up and all of that. And at that time, I was going to the park, either there's a park on the East River by me, and then I'm also close to Central Park. So I would go to one of the parks to shoot my videos. And I really had no idea what was going to happen from that. I didn't know a next step. I was just leaning into my curiosity, leading with what lit me up, which is speaking on topics that have things that I've learned, concepts that having adopted them have really helped me to grow and succeed in certain areas. And so it was time to just, share with others that, might be able to benefit from the same stuff. So anyhow, I started making these videos, and a couple things happened that I would not have, that I had no idea would happen. One, I ended up making a really good friend. So that was really cool. I couldn't have, predicted that. And he ended up helping me and advising me on some things. And I couldn't have predicted that. So how that happened was one day I was in the park making one of my videos, and this guy stopped and listened to what I was saying. It resonated with him. So he waited till I was finished, and then he started a conversation, and we ended up becoming friends, and a lot of great things came from that. So that's just an example of not knowing, not having control, which is a really good thing and can help take some pressure off. What's going to happen next? Who we're going to meet to help us on our path. Oh, and that just reminded me of another one. But let's see, sometimes I get too many ideas flooding my brain at once, so I have to pause to sort them out to see which one I want to share first. Oh yeah, and then from the videos, I had gotten some positive feedback after a while, and then it just came to me that the next logical step was to offer coaching. That was something I never had considered doing before. So the idea was to create the motivational videos. The action was to just get started. And then these other things came into play that these other directions and steps came onto my path that I wouldn't have been able to predict. So that's what happens when you lean into your curiosity, that thing that you, that idea that you have, that thing that you're thinking about trying. And the first step might be telling someone. about, I feel like telling this person about my goal, because a lot of times that is the first step, because when we are actively thinking and talking about what it is we want to be doing, and letting yourself get more curious and get more excited about it, that is when the next step comes in. You'll get an idea because you're in your element, you're in the present moment, you're excited and you're curious. So that's when you're going to get your ideas. So the first step might just be talking with someone, sharing, your goal, your plans. And something else that I wanted to mention that I forgot at the start was, um, the first step in succeeding in any goal is awareness, acknowledging what it is you truly want. And a lot of us, a lot of people don't even get there. We don't even acknowledge, get really honest with ourselves about what it is we truly want. And why would that be? Because then we're faced with a choice to take action, to risk being vulnerable, risk trying something, risk telling people, hey, this is what I'm working toward, risk being honest with ourselves and telling ourselves this is really what I want, and taking action and trying, and then it doesn't work out. So it is a risk even to just be honest with yourself about what you truly want. So I think that is the reason why most people don't even get to the awareness stage. And I think that it is the steps to success, to achieving your goal. And to me, my definition of success is happiness, because you can be viewed as successful doing what you're doing. So I was a very successful recruiter. I placed a lot of people who stayed a long time in their roles. I had great relationships with my hiring managers and candidates. But if I stayed doing that for the rest of my life, even though it was affording a very nice lifestyle for myself, I wouldn't feel successful, because I knew in the back of my mind, there's something more different that is important to me, where I feel like I can make an impact in a more meaningful way. So if I didn't act on that, I'm not going to feel successful. So my point is, you might be doing great in your current career, in your current job, but if it doesn't light you up, if it doesn't energize you, if you're not excited to go do it every day, or maybe you do get those feelings from your job, but there's still something else that you want to be doing, at least for part of the time, at least starting to explore, and you're not, then you're likely not going to feel successful. I went off on a big tangent there, and then I forgot the point I was trying to make. So I might just have to, maybe it will come back to me. Oh, awareness. So first, you acknowledge what it is that you want. And then the second step is mindset. These are the steps to success, I believe. I'm sure most people would agree. Acknowledge what you truly want, believe you can achieve, and then take intentional action, and then keep going. So I guess that's 4 steps. You have to keep going when the going gets tough. So most of us don't get to the very first step because it's a risk. It's a risk acknowledging what it is you want. Oh, so my point is, if you are there, if you are feeling like the how is keeping you stuck, you have acknowledged what it is you want, but you don't know how you're going to get there, I would like to congratulate you and say, good job, because most people don't get to the awareness phase. And we just talked about why, so I don't need to go through that again. But yeah, so if that's where you are, take some pressure off for 2 reasons. One, tell yourself good job, because you're courageous. You have mustered up the courage to, acknowledge what it is that you want. So tell yourself good job. And that's another practice that I encourage everybody to implement. I call it the implementing the practice of good job. And basically that is celebrating your wins all day long, big or small. So I do my morning routine, which is some super simple stuff. And when I take out the trash, I tell myself, good job. I mean, I'm completing a task, and it's very silly, but it makes me feel good. And so when we learn to celebrate our little wins, we're more encouraged, and it raises our confidence level and our ability to pursue and complete the bigger wins. So anyhow, tell yourself good job. If that's not something you're in the practice of doing, it might feel a little bit weird at first, but you'll get used to it, and it'll boost your self-esteem and instill in yourself the ability to complete, achieve what it is you pursue. So anyhow, good job if you have acknowledged what it is you truly want. And then again, take some pressure off in trying to figure out how you're going to get there because you can't know how. Life doesn't work that way. When you wake up each morning, you do not know what's going to happen. I mean, if we do the same thing every day, we have a general idea, but we don't know who we're going to meet that's going to come across our path. I'll give you another really cool example of that. So when I published my second book, I started getting contacted by people about doing their podcast. Just being active on social media, connecting with a lot of people, and so I connected with Vince Bugs at Embrace the Power, and he had me on his show, Vince and Mike G. To talk about my book. And so that was really fun podcast. They're awesome guys. And then Vince reached back out to me and asked if I wanted to collaborate and partner up. And now I have my own podcast under the Embrace the Power platform. Now, how could I ever have predicted that? And then another example, kind of stepping back to when I decided to first do the motivational videos, I had already, a little while later, I published my first book on recruiting. And then when I was ready to write my second book, I was going to go a different direction with the second book and write another one on recruiting, but more for a different audience. So maybe I'll go back and do that another time. But anyhow, with all of the motivational videos that I had done, well over 100 at that point, I'm a writer first, so I write most of them down. And so I had all of them saved, and I thought, I have pretty much a whole other book here written with all of these concepts. And with my coaching, I write about most of the, or if not all, well, I'm always, working to improve and adding new concepts that I learned. But a lot of the concepts I wrote about in my book. And so that helped me to build out my coaching program. And my motivational videos helped me to were a stepping stone in writing my second book. So I hadn't thought about the book first. First, I just, leaned into my curiosity, my desire, what lit me up, which was to start doing the videos. And then that later led to coaching and to my second book. So, okay, if you are stuck at the how, I want to do this, but I don't know if it's going to work or how I'm going to get there. If you're focused on the how, that is fear-based. And any action or inaction based on fear, unless you are in physical danger, will always keep you stuck. And I believe the reason for that is because you're going against your intuition. I talk about this a lot. Maybe I'll do a whole other topic session on it, but fear versus intuition. Your intuition is the first emotion because your intuition is built in, to keep you alive, to keep you safe. So your intuition is that strong. And so it is also strong enough to guide you in the right direction, but most of us don't listen to it because what if? So I encourage you, if you're worried about the how, to forget the how. I have a video on that where I call it forget the how, just move. And what I mean by that is just take the first step. Whatever is calling you, even if it feels illogical, take the first step. Whether, maybe it's researching, first write down your idea, write down your goal, acknowledge it. Don't ignore it. That's what a lot of us do. We just keep moving forward with what we know because we don't know how we're going to get there. We don't know if it's going to work out and we don't know how. What's one of my favorite quotes? Oh, by Thomas Carlyle. He says, go as far as you can see. And when you get there, you'll be able to see further. So when you take the first step, the second is going to show up. And also the title of my second book, so it's Where's My Mustard? How to Let Go, Attract, and Achieve, a quest to self-empowerment. And letting go was one of the biggest, most impactful lessons that I have learned. And, in some areas of my life, I'm still reminding myself, but I come to accept it more and more each day. And it's letting go of control, of attachment to outcome. So maybe we think that we know what we want in our career, for example, and it needs to look like this, and it needs to happen this way, and it needs to happen within this time frame and with this specific company or, whatever it is. But if it's not working out, or you're not feeling really great in pursuing that goal, it's probably because there's another direction that is meant for you. So if you let go of the outcome, but you still just get excited, get honest and excited, get honest with yourself about what you truly want, get curious and excited and see where that takes you. Let it take you to the first step, because if we're so stuck on this outcome, well, it has to look exactly this way. This is our how. We might be missing out. In fact, you likely are missing out on the path, the first step to actually get started. If you're having to control, it has to look like this. Maybe it's not supposed to look like that. Maybe this path over here or direction is the first step. And once you take it, then the next step is going to show up. Hopefully that makes sense. And hopefully you guys find it that encouraging. It really does take some pressure off. I really believe that what you want is meant for you. You know, why would you want it if we're looking at career and a goal, a passion that you have for yourself, why would you want it if it weren't meant for you? But the how, we can't control the how. Trying to think of some specific examples around moving to New York. I knew that I wanted to move to New York. And when I finally was ready, I ended up getting a job and got myself here. But all of the events that transpired after that, I couldn't know, what that was going to look like and what was going to happen. So instead of worrying about the how, this is another concept that I like to coach on and talk about, and I encourage you to implement in your own life. Choose wonder over worry. Wonder is very powerful. And what that looks like is, okay, I have a goal, an idea, something that I'm curious or excited about. And it just looks like, I wonder how that's going to happen. See, that's how, but it's a curiosity how. It's not a how is this going to happen? If I take this step and then I get here and then I get here and then I get here, and then what if he says this and then this happens? Or what? I mean, whoa, that's way too many steps down the line. And that can keep you unnecessarily paralyzed. Whereas if you just allow yourself to really acknowledge what you truly want, trust yourself, trust that you want it for a reason. Maybe, and if you don't know exactly what you want, you likely know how you want to feel once you get there. So it's really important to focus on our emotions. What excites you, what lights you up, and go in that direction. Just take the first step. I think I spoke about this on the last one, or in one of my webinars. But when I decided I was done with medical sales, which I loved until overnight, it seemed I didn't. And I'm the type of person where, just one thing about me, I don't know if it's a type of person, but I can't force myself to do something that I don't want to do. So once my energy shut down around my medical sales job, I needed to make a move, and quickly, because it was mostly commission, and knowing myself that I can't make myself do something I don't want to do, it wasn't going to be working out for that much longer for me. So I had to find something else. So I had no idea what that was. And I knew two things. I knew that I needed to make the same amount of money that I was making, because that was the new standard that I had gotten myself to. And I wanted to wear jeans. So to me, what that meant was freedom. I was tired of business casual. Now that I can wear whatever I want working from home, I'm ready for business casual again. But yeah, that's what I told myself. I let go of any attachment to any outcome. It was very freeing. It was really cool. I observed my energy level around my current job and how I was feeling. And then I acknowledged this is not going to work. And I said, I need a new job. I don't know what it is, but I know I want to make X amount of money, and I know I want to wear jeans. So anyhow, that I wanted to feel confident and secure, in supporting myself. And I wanted to feel free. So if you don't know exactly what you want, you likely know how you want to feel once you get there. So focus on that, put that energy out there. And then you could take it a step further by conjuring up that energy right now. That's manifesting. That's law of attraction. That's because we attract what we are, not what we want. So if you just, become that, like I felt free. It felt freeing to just acknowledge that freedom is important to me and to go in that direction. And knowing that I needed to feel free, when a few opportunities came to me, I knew the one to take. It was the riskiest, but it was the one that offered the most freedom. And it was a no-brainer for me. I was a little scared, sure, but once we take the first step in doing what scares us, we're no longer scared. And then we until the next thing, and then we take that step. And I'm actually going to be talking more about this tomorrow. I think I'll hop off here now, keep this kind of short. But yeah, if you guys are around tomorrow at noon and you want to hear more about this stuff, you can join me for the May featured webinar. It is on overcoming fear. And so I'll talk more in depth probably for about 35 minutes, and then I'll stay on for Q&A if you guys have any questions that you want to ask. And also, I mentioned I'm very passionate about, the information for that, if you check out my LinkedIn profile, or you can email me. I will share my website's here. The information is there too, but I'll just share my email here too, if you're looking for the link for the webinar. And then also, if you are local to the New York City area, I'm doing a live talk. I'll have books there too. So book signing if anybody's interested, and then Q&A. And it's called Lead with What Lights You Up When You Believe You Achieve. I mentioned that I'm super passionate about when I hear what lights other people up. And so anyhow, that'll be a fun opportunity to get out from behind your Zoom screens and hang out live and in person for an inspirational hour. And yeah, so if you're interested in that, the link, you could email me, but the link is also on my website to register for that. Tickets are free. Would love to see you there. So let me see if I missed anything here before I hop off. Well, so many different examples, but again, we're keeping it short. Let's see. Yeah, so just that's the basic stuff for today. Let yourself get curious about what it is you want. Get excited and take the first step. Whatever you feel called to do or curious about, even if it feels illogical, go in that direction. Once you take the first step, you're going to see the second step. So, all right, thanks for tuning in, guys. Have a great day, and stay curious.